You know what? I'm gonna hit you with the how Oprah does it, cause you know she say your first name real quiet and stare at you.
Yeah. Stephen.
Stephen.
Yes.
If you know so much about marriage,
Yeah.
why have you never been married?
Because I didn't know how to act. This
Said
is
it in the
simple.
book.
It's,
Your fault.
It's totally my fault. Totally my fault. It's not anybody's fault but mine. I was on the road over 200 days out of the year. I'm not going to be faithful being on the road 200 days out of the year.
You can.
I know.
You can make that choice.
No.
Just because you.
I didn't say you can't. I didn't say you can't. I said me. I could not be on the road as much as I'm on the road all of those years and honor a relationship. I know how to treat a woman very well. My mother and my 4 sisters raised me very much. And I'm one of those guys that call it a blessing or a curse. 90% of my living relatives are women. Like St. Thomas, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, upstate, the whole bit, Florida, Carolinas. I got relatives all over the place. Most of them are female. So I've been surrounded by females all my life. And you get to know what the do's and don'ts, what the wants and don't wants are, and all of this other stuff. That's a given. And there's a level of treatment that I'm never going to go lower than. So in that regard, I'm good. But when I was on the road for 200 days out of the year, man, and it's like, and this is the part that men don't reveal that much, but I will. When you get older, you grow up, and it's like you don't need it no more. You don't need it no more. So you don't chase. That's entirely different than when it's handed to you on a silver platter. And you don't have to work for it. That doesn't mean you can't say no. It certainly doesn't mean that you don't say no. What it does mean is that it's harder.
I think that that's a fair point that Stephen A is making right now, and that forget the relationship part, right, in its entirety. Stephen A, this is the way that I translate what he said. Stephen A was more focused on chasing his purpose and making sure that he was great in his career than he was on trying to split time and trying to make sure that he was balancing a life to ensure that a woman would be happy with him. Let me say that again. Stephen A was more focused, and he understood what his path was going to be, and he said, for this amount of years, I'm going to be chasing this maybe even for the rest of my life. And I do not have time to prioritize what the wants are or what the requirements would be in being in a marriage or a relationship and faithful to a woman. And I'm cool with that, with what he's saying, because he's making an informed decision, and he's also choosing, and I'm assuming communicating with whoever it is that he's dealing with, that that is not the life that he's interested in. And I believe that more men should be forthcoming, because what we see a lot of times happening is there's a lot of guys that choose not to be transparent, that choose not to be forthcoming with their thoughts, that choose not to be in a certain space when it comes to their mental stability, because they so focused on providing and protecting and doing the right thing according to the women that they're dealing with. I think that what would be a better option is to be absolutely honest and transparent up front and throughout where they are, so that they don't put themselves in a position to where they don't want to be in. And again, I have no problems with what Stephen A. Smith is saying. I think it's good on both sides as long as you are a responsible adult. And the thing that I don't like to see is when people put themselves in a position and then blame somebody else for the decision that they're making. I see women do it all the time, more often than men, but I also see men do it all the time too. And again, I don't see anything wrong with what Stephen A. Smith is saying, because, and I always like to give credit to the content creators, so this link is going to be down in the description, as far as, you know, what he's talking about and all of that stuff. But here's the key. When people are real and they transparent and they honest, it doesn't mean that feelings don't get involved, but it does mean that you're being a responsible adult. And I see so many people pretending. It's a lot of people pretending. It's a lot of people trying to put on for the general public, for the gram, and they trying to sell you a image and a narrative and all of that. And very, very few times do you get people operating authentically. Stephen A. Smith has had to answer to no one because Stephen A. Smith's purpose was always a priority. I believe men should always have a purpose and a priority of whatever it is that they're seeking and they're chasing, or whatever it is that they feel like they're great at. You would be more, and of course you still have to be great at it, right? You still got to deliver, you still got to, get the results. But you would be more productive for you people that are absolutely dedicated to the grind and the hustle. Because also what I see a lot of times happen is dudes that really are truly dedicated and they doing the right thing, they have to pull back, they have to throttle, they have to consider other people. And I just don't like that. I don't like that. I think that a man's purpose should always be first. And then, everything else come after that and come second. And that's the life that he chose. I have no problem with what Stephen A. Smith is saying right now.
It doesn't mean that you don't say no. What it does mean is that it's harder.
I had a homeboy, his saying was, he said, I don't chase it, but I ain't fast enough to run from it.
That was me for a long time. That was me for a long time. And so I saw cats in our industry using their per diem to pay for their women. Meals, hotels, that kind of thing. They didn't come out of their pocket. Because if it did, their wife would have noticed. And I'm
crazy.
like, I ain't living like that.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna be that kind. Nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Gandhi and I'm not the Pope or anything like that. But I'm a God-fearing, decent man. I'm not living like that, and I've never been that guy. But it's not easy when you're younger and you're climbing and you're scratching and you're clawing and you're not settled and ain't nothing but temptation comes your way. I ward it off with ease now because I've been there, done that. I'm about to turn 58 years old, but I don't need it like I used to. But back in the day, listen, I'm not gonna be like those dudes years ago. Remember those dudes that went on that apology tour?
Yeah.
They pissed me off. They really did. That was another Oprah thing. Yeah. That was another Oprah thing. And Susan Taylor from Essence.
Yeah.
I mean, boy, I gotta tell you. Around 2005, they apologized, and I'm like, really? That's what we doing?
Right.
That's what we doing. And you got these women thinking that you reached this epiphany. You were so wrong. You full of shit. That's not what it was. What it was is that you found somebody that made you happy.
Yeah.
And so because you found somebody that made you happy, you stopped. Now that you stopped, you want to dime out all the other dudes.
Now you snitching.
Now you snitching. You know what I'm saying? Ain't they full of, this is the kind of stuff. See, people don't see this kind of stuff.
Hey.
It's like, and I saw it, and I'm like, nah. Y'all wrong.
Hey, Stephen, that's when they come to you, man. You need to change, brother.
Man, please.
Look at me.
Y'all come on out. They got it.
It's a whole lot of panda bears out there right now. Oh my God. Yo. There are, man, they are on it. They are accurate. It's so many guys that's panda bearing it up. And now because they decided that they wanted to chill out, now all of a sudden they want to start having a conversation with everybody else, telling them that they got to follow them and do exactly what they're doing. No, you just give the information and you let it land where it may, and then you allow for people to make better decisions. Now, if you want to have a conversation with somebody, it's important to have a conversation with somebody about being responsible about what the decisions are that you're making. Running the bag up, chasing your purpose, making sure that you understand to build character along the way. Those are the things. But these dudes, man, listen, panda bearing is at an all-time high, and it's crazy right now, and they are absolutely right.
They got us. They got us. Y'all come on out.
Exactly. They got it. You got yours. You see what I'm saying? And by the way, you was doing all this, right? But now that it's time to stop, now you want to reach this epiphany. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. And then you saw the tears. You saw the voice quivering and all this stuff. And I'm like this. You got to be kidding me, man.
That's a fact. Hey, let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Of course, I'm always going to leave a link in the description in order to give credit where credit is due. I love you. I appreciate you. And make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I'm out.